All right. And admitting.
Today's day 32 of Morning HDH, day June June 26, 2023. Let us offer our greetings to our Heavenly Parents and our true parents. Let's face your parents. 천지 전 부모님께 경배. 바로 let us recite 가정 맹세 7. 초인의극 주인, 우리 가정은 참 사랑으로 충신하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 방송할 것을 맹세하나이다. Number 7. Our family, the owner of Chonyeolguk, pledges through living for the sake of others to perfect the world based on the culture of heart, which is rooted in the original lineage by centering on true love. Aju. This morning, may I ask Ms. Andrea Thiemann to offer our greeting prayer?
Good morning, everyone. Please join me in prayer. Good morning, precious Heavenly Parents. Good morning to your parents. Thank you so much for this beautiful Monday. The air feels so nice and crisp, and the air is cool, and the sun will be rising, or it's rising, it's risen. We're so grateful that you've given us life, that you give us all the elements that allow us to be alive in this day, and that you bring us all here this morning to receive your word of guidance, Heavenly Parents. We're so grateful that we're able to study your mother's memoir together. And there is so much more that we can gain from it as we listen to each other's reflections, as we listen to the beautiful reading. And we're grateful that our mother was able to really share in such beautiful details all her experience, I'm sure not all of her experiences, but share her life with us in a way that we can more deeply understand her position as the only begotten daughter, and more deeply, Heavenly Parent, connect with her this precious time in which she's leading the providence. So we're so grateful that we are here gathered today to continue this reading and this studying. And we're grateful for your guidance upon us, upon our lives each and every day. Please be with each and every brother and sister gathered here, those watching on the live stream. Please bless their families, guide them. And we are so grateful. We'll offer this prayer in the names of the All Blessed Central families gathered here. And in my name is Andrea Thiemann, and the Thiemann family, Blessed Central family. Aju.
Aju. Thank you, Mrs. Thiemann. Thank you so much. And yes, good morning to everyone here live and those who will be watching later. Good morning. I'm glad you could all make it. And let us go into our morning stretches.
Praise him.
So this song is called Blessings by Chance the Rapper. Receive all the blessings in your life. Stretch your body. Are we glad we have a physical body that can still move like this with us? Hey, let's go to the left.
Go up.
All right, let's go to the right. Awesome. And then twist your back.
Seems like blessings keep falling in my lap.
Switch.
It seems like blessings keep falling
You can
in
do,
my
if you haven't
lap.
done your neck already, you can turn your neck
I
as
don't make
well.
songs for free. I make them for freedom. Don't believe in kings, believe in the kingdom. Chisel me into stone, prayer whistle me into song air.
Don't
Dying
press too
laughing
hard
with
on your
friends
neck.
saying something about blonde hair. Jesus,
Forward,
black life ain't matter. I know I talk to his daddy.
back.
Say you the man of the house now. Look
Okay,
out for
shake
your
off
family.
your limbs,
Jesus
shake it
ordered my
off,
steps, gave me a
shake it
sword with a crest,
off.
and gave Donnie a
Okay,
drum
we're
in
gonna do
case
some
I
of
get
this.
shortness of breath.
I'm gone.
All right.
Praise him. Praise
This.
him till I'm gone.
Don't be mad.
I'm gone.
And then we're gonna do some of
Praise him till I'm
what's
gone.
this?
When
The arms holding up, and then also if you're inspired to, you can do squat, like a squat while you're doing it. I'm doing a squat right now. You can't really tell. See, look, my chair's over here. I'm not sitting down right now, guys. Okay, let's do that for 15 seconds. Today. 15, 14,
They booked the
13,
nicest
12,
hotels on the 59th
11,
floor.
10,
Big wide windows,
9,
the suicide
8,
doors. Ain't no blood on my
7,
money.
6,
Ain't no Twitter in heaven.
5,
I know them drugs
4,
isn't close.
3,
Ain't no visit in heaven. I know the difference in blessings
1.
and
Bring it
worldly
down.
possessions. Like my
Okay,
ex-girl
just
getting
rotate
pregnant
your
and her becoming
shoulders.
my everything. I'm at
Let it
war with my
loose.
wrongs. I'm writing 4 different songs.
And
I
your
never
fingers
forfeited,
too,
forfeited. I'm a first to be
ankles.
reconciled. They want
And this is a good
4-minute
exercise as
songs.
well to
You need a
just thrust
4-hour
your fingers
praise
out
dance
and
performed
bring it
every
back
morning.
and
I'm
retract.
feeling
Yeah,
shortness of breath. So
good
me
one.
go grab you a horn. Hit Jericho with the
Okay.
buzzer beater to end the quarter. Watch brick and
Get your
mortar
last
fall
breaths
like
in
dripping water.
and bring it back. All right. Bring it back. Awesome. And now let us go off into our breakout rooms to share our gratitude for today. See you back in a few.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you had a wonderful sharing with your brothers and sisters. Feel free to write in the comments section, what you are grateful for today. So for the first sharing, I would like to invite up Mrs. Carol Pobans for her sharing. Mrs. Pobans, if you're, yes.
Yeah, so good morning, everybody. It was very nice today. We had three sisters together, and somebody made a comment about, oh, here we are, women, and I realized one of my gratitudes was for women, and the other day, I met together with a new contact, and he is from the Nutley Inclusion and Multi-Diversity Council. When I heard that title, I thought to myself, oh, I know where this is going. This is a lot of gay agenda. As soon as you hear inclusion, it means, and frankly speaking, it's okay, gay agenda. People have the freedom to believe what they want to believe, and I have to respect that God gave us free will, and therefore we have to respect other people's free will. But don't put it on me. So when I was planning to go to my appointment with this man, I thought, well, I better just put my cards out front. I better just say from the beginning exactly where I stand, and so that we could have a free conversation. And in fact, I prepared myself for that conversation. And when I met him, to my surprise, he said it to me. He said exactly to me what I was planning to say to him, which was the greatest surprise. Anyway, I realized that God has prepared so many wonderful people for us, and that we really need to have the integrity to believe what we believe and say what we believe, and see how things go from there. In that whole conversation, I thought to myself, one of the things that is not discussed in this kind of forum of inclusion is the men and women, the position of women, the equality of women. Anyway, so I hope that I can also introduce that into the Inclusion and Diversity Council. So anyway, it was a very great experience. It was a great experience speaking to the sisters this morning, younger and older, and old. Anyway, it was a wonderful meeting together today. Thank you so much. God bless.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Miss Carol. It was wonderful being in a group with you. I was like, oh, she's about to MC or call on the next person. Like, might as well. Yeah, I mean, okay. Well, the next person, yes. So influential, Miss Carol. The next person we had Miss Hiroi. What was your Koiko?
Hiroko?
Hiroko. Oh yeah. I was like,
You get it?
yes, Hiroko-san. Yes.
Okay.
Share away.
Yeah, I'm so grateful with every morning because, this time, Sumi is very good. Cheer me up every morning. Maybe her character, very cheerful. I like it. I like it. And so last time, Red Fred was doing, Red Fred has a Red Fred's very special character, and I enjoy it. And Sumi has a very special character and leading us. I like it. So I'm grateful with this morning devotion. And also I'm grateful to attend the morning devotion because, even I have a good family, but sometimes I feel lonely to going this my own way, But so this morning, brothers and sisters are talking about gratitude. It's a good word, very positive. I can be very positive. And so I feel, I stay with brothers and sisters together. I don't feel lonely, That's kind of feeling calming. And also attending this is like I really, inherit the spirit of Dr. Young. Dr. Young planted a seed in my heart to love brothers and sisters more deeply. Yeah, so that's why I'm so grateful with this, morning devotion, especially young people lead us. I like it very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hiroko-san. We appreciate you, everyone here. And also you say young person, but really we're just young physically, but some of you are like young, like really young in spirit. So Hiroko-san, you're very young. Honto. Honto. Spirit, very, very young. Very refreshing. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. And with that, as our hearts are filled with gratitude, let us open up our spirit, make it receptive to what our True Mother has to say through memoir today. So I invite up True Mother, Mother of Peace, the Mother Memoir.
Welcome to Mother of Peace, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. A memoir by Hak Jahan Moon, a production of the Washington Times Global Media Group, narrated by Alison Hiroto. My husband began teaching about my position as a true woman standing at God's left side, with him on God's right side, about me being a true woman and co-founder of our movement, about me being a true woman serving, as he does, as an individual embodiment of true parents, and about me being a true woman having the same authority, inheritance, and rights as he. After our meetings with President Mikhail and Mrs. Raisa Gorbachev, and with Chairman Kim Il-sung, about which I will share, we decided it was time for the declaration of true parents to the world. As his wife, I am my husband's first witness, and as my partner in the love of Heavenly Parent, he was the first to advocate that I reach the world with our message of peace. My husband and I founded the Women's Federation for World Peace. After its inaugural rally at the Olympic Stadium in Seoul in April 1992, about which I will also speak below, I held a series of events to launch Women's Federation chapters in 40 Korean cities. I spoke on the theme, Women Will Play a Leading Role in the Ideal World. We wondered what would be the turnout for these events, and were gratified that every venue was filled to capacity. Although the speech focused on women, many men attended as well. I saw the era of women that my husband and I were advocating taking shape before my eyes. When the Korean speaking tour was over, we planned a speaking schedule for me to launch the Women's Federation in Japan. Japanese women need to hear these words too, I told our logistics team. True, they replied, but you speak Korean, and through the interpreter, the original meaning will not be fully conveyed. I agree, I said with the follow-up. Then I shall speak in Japanese. When my husband heard about this, even he wanted to talk it over. It would be much easier to use an interpreter. The speech is long, and you don't know Japanese well. You have to leave soon. Are you confident that you can speak to them in Japanese? As soon as the words were out of his mouth, he knew my answer. I didn't need to say anything. I practiced the speech in Japanese for a few days, my motivation being that the Japanese people should not remain orphans. I was determined to explain to them in their language the reality that we all have been orphans, and that today, through true parents, we can become children of our Heavenly Parent. On September 24, 1992, a crowd of 50,000 people gathered at the Tokyo Dome. It was my first time speaking publicly in Japanese, and this was a prominent venue in Japan's capital. The audience was aware of this. No one, Korean or Japanese, had high expectations for the outcome. The organizers, being prudent, prepared a young Japanese interpreter to stand just off stage in case I faltered. But when I came to the podium and began to speak, the audience was surprised. They cheered and stood up to applaud. For a few minutes they remained anxious, thinking, surely she'll make a mistake. But as I continued, and each sentence impressed God's word in their hearts, the audience looked relaxed and happy. Over the next 9 days, I gave that speech in 7 cities without losing strength, and then for 3 more days, I delivered it to Koreans residing in Japan. I uplifted the hearts of all Japanese as well as Korean women. I need to speak in America, I then told my staff. Won't that be difficult? They responded. Please, let's take at least a full day's rest before flying. But my mind was already in the West. Many people are waiting for me, I uttered without thinking. I cannot rest. I crossed the Pacific and stepped onto American soil. Speaking in the 8 largest cities of the U.S., I announced that the era of women was near, and what it means for men, women, and God. On the first day, the people of Washington, D.C. thanked me deeply. They had thought of me only as the wife of Reverend Sang Myung Moon from Korea. But now their perception changed. I was now Hak Jahan, who represents us and represents the aspirations and value of all women. I planted in their hearts the seeds of female leadership that is necessary to complete the salvation of the world. My inaugural speaking tour for the Women's Federation continued through Europe, Russia, Asia, and Oceania. I will never forget what happened when I spoke in the Philippines. The day before the event, I flew from Los Angeles to Manila. On the plane, I took a short nap, during which I dreamed I was breastfeeding a baby. As I looked at the beautiful baby, I said to myself, I'm not of an age to give birth anymore. When I arrived in Manila, I discovered that it was a Catholic holy day, December 8th, the feast of the Immaculate Conception. A woman walking on the street in downtown Manila happened to see a poster advertising my speech. The poster had me in a yellow Korean dress. Suddenly, the thought, this is the person who will fulfill Mother Mary's mission, came into her mind. Then and there, she decided to attend my event. She was deeply moved by my speech, during which she arose and loudly exclaimed, the one who came to the Philippines on this holy day is truly our Mother Mary. Cheers erupted throughout the convention center. The final venue on that tour was China's Great Hall of the People in Tiananmen Square. It was an event both very difficult and very rewarding. We expected that, since China's open-door policy was in place, everything would go smoothly. But that was not the case. From the outset, the Communist Party and the military had refused to grant a permit. When we explained that it wasn't a political rally, they said, we will check the script first. It cannot have anything in it about God. That took them a week. Their conclusion? We cannot allow this kind of content. I strongly argued with them. They repeatedly gave their reasons to change my speech, but I didn't yield. I insisted that the message had nothing to do with politics and that its focus was on women. The matter stood at a tipping point. At that time, President Deng Xiaoping's son, Deng Pufeng, was the chairman of the China Disabled Persons Federation, an organization consisting of 500,000 people. The day before the event, the young Mr. Deng invited me and other Women's Federation leaders to a reception held by his organization. It was a harmonious meeting where we encouraged one another despite the differences in our systems and ideologies. Hearing of this pleasant experience, that evening, the All China Women's Federation welcomed us to their gathering. We didn't know each other well, so it felt awkward at first. But soon all of us ladies became friends and had a good time singing happily together. Even though social receptions and official public events are two different things, with confidence based on our positive experiences with two national organizations related closely to the president, I stood my ground and gave the original speech. The audience in this communist country was surprised when they heard me say the name of God, not just once, but dozens of times. I was calm, as I knew I should be in that circumstance. It was revolutionary to give such a speech in the great hall of the people. It was the revolutionary power of a woman. In such circumstances, I carried out that 1992 speaking tour in 113 locations around the world. When I departed Korea for the speaking tour, I had several outfits, a collection suitable for the variety of climates I would encounter. When I returned, all I had was the suit I was wearing. I always gave away my clothes, and I had been gone for most of the year. When my husband welcomed me, his first words were, "You did a good job." Then, glancing at my hands out of the blue, he asked, "By the way, where's your wedding ring?" I looked at my hand. Only then did I remember it was gone. "I don't have the ring," I said. "I must have given it to someone." "To whom did you give it?" he asked, incredulous. "Ah, yes, I gave it to someone during the tour," I said, "but I don't remember who it was. I gave it to someone either to keep as an heirloom or, if necessary, to sell for her family's well-being." My husband made the natural comment, "It's fine that you gave it away, but you don't remember who you gave it to?" We really don't focus so much on personal possessions, and that is how we've always been. As we looked into each other's eyes, my husband's gratitude for that quality in me surfaced. He collected himself, smiled and nodded, and the welcoming celebration proceeded. My husband and I could not have a honeymoon. I didn't mind, but he had always felt remorseful. When we visited the Netherlands during a speaking tour, it must have been 1969, after much thought, he bought me a small diamond ring with some money he had saved. That was the meaning of that ring, but now I had given it to someone and had even forgotten that I had done so. I do give things away out of sympathetic love, and then I let it go. Those who give what they have, give their heart, and even their life, and do not cling to the memory, are the ones whom God visits. My husband knows I am like that, and he is too. Just as I had done, he let it go. That 1992 Global Speaking Tour was by no means a vacation. It covered 113 cities, 24 time zones, venue upon venue, check-in upon check-in, crowd upon crowd, schedule upon schedule, pressure upon pressure. I was speaking on the value and mission of women, the way to peace in the family and world, and the love of Heavenly Parent. This was to open the gates for the world's people who are stranded as lonely orphans, to welcome them into the loving, liberating embrace of true parents. Only when we receive God's blessing in marriage can we leave the orphanage and receive our inheritance as the sons and daughters of God who enjoy true happiness. I am here to give my wedding ring to everyone.
Thank you for listening to Godable. Visit motherofpeacebook.com to purchase the complete audiobook. Godable is made possible by listeners like you. To donate, visit godable.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Mother. 감사합니다. And for our pastor reflection, I would like to call on Pastor Naokimi, who is on his way to the Rebirth Workshop in Las Vegas. But yes, Pastor Naokimi.
All right. Good morning, brothers and sisters. Sorry, I'm on my way. I'm Uber or Lyft to the airport. Saying good bumpy, apologize. But yeah, going on to this morning's reading, I think the first thing that kind of stood out to me was just her sharing about her determination to speak or give a messages in Japanese. I remember hearing her speak in Japanese, and that was quite good. I think her accent is she wasn't practiced, but yeah. But there was this one interaction in the message where as soon as she said that she was going to do it, there was a moment where father. She really thinks it's a good idea, and then she just gave him like a look, and he knew that when she decides, it's done. So I just felt like her absolute resolve, and then also her motive for doing that was really connecting more deeply in heart with the Japanese members, Japanese people. So yeah, I felt her strong resolution and just her ability to speak in a foreign language in a short period of time, and in public too, in front of a large crowd. I thought it was quite courageous. The other point that stood out was this whole sense of the significance of a woman's role in especially bringing about peace in this world. And she gave a few examples which I thought were significant. She shared about how when she was in the Philippines, happened to be on a Catholic holy day, and people were able to make the connection of her role. Interestingly, like the connection with Mother Mary. And anyway, without going into theology or whatnot, I think just the point is that there's a different feel when it comes to whether a mother versus a father figure. And I feel like if people can make that connection, then in one sense, the whole Catholic community may be prepared to really receive a mother in her role. And the other example that I saw was in China. They definitely were not happy to have anyone speak about God, but because she was a woman, and because of, how do I say, it's like, I think that they felt she wasn't a threat. If it was, and then if it was father, I really doubt that they would have allowed that speech to happen. But because she was a woman, I think they let their guard down, and also, but despite that, mother still was quite bold in going with the original message, but the way that she delivered it, I think, was with calm, steady resolution. And again, I feel like it's a different approach. Usually, I can imagine if father were speaking, he would be shouting at the top of his lungs, conveying God's passion and determination. But I'm sure the way that mother expressed it was just matter-of-factly, calm, with love, but with conviction. And I feel like that approach allowed for that kind of message to be shared for that audience. So yeah, again, I feel like this is a very, as a woman, she's also elevating and bringing out the best of what women have in order to bring about peace in the world at this time. The final point that stood out was just, giving away her things, the clothes and the ring, and in one sense, from a normal secular perspective, it's kind of outrageous to give away your wedding ring. But really, by seeing her, in one sense, it's an example of her heart, how she really feels for the people and the members, and her compassion when she sees people who don't have enough, then she just can't help but give. And I feel it's a beautiful expression of that kind of God's unconditional love and that heart of a mother that Mother God has. So those were several points that stood out from this morning's Godable. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for those points, emphasizing Chimother's giving heart, her linguistic skills, her calm nature, and how she can potentially be received by the masses. So let us now break off into our breakout rooms and share with our fellow brothers and sisters. See you in a moment. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Feel free to write in the comments, your reflection as well and what stood out to you. But for today, I would like to call on, I was going to say the last name, but there's two ladies in my breakout room with the same last name. For time's sake, I'm just going to call on one of the Katos. I would like to invite up Miss Naoko Kato to share, if that's all right.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Yes, I was, I remember many years ago, our true father praised our true mother, my wife, but she, as a true mother, her habit seems like her habit also, her true nature, but she's always giving out her things to make other people happy. And one time, this is my own experience, and she's very, very spiritually, right? And one time she came back East Garden, and there are so many members in there. Maybe 30 years ago, 40 years ago, I had my second son with me, and I, there are many adults only, but at that time, I just tried to, I was very far away, but I tried to show true mother, true mother inside of my heart. True mother, this is my second son. Welcome home. And I got another child. Then just a few days later, Reverend Peter Kim gave me true mother's jacket. Oh, this is for you from true mother. So I really thought, wow, spiritually, she was looking for, at the time, she was looking for people in that room. It's a big room of East Garden, but she can catch someone's spirit and make that person happy. So that was my experience with a true mother at that time. And I myself, of course, I was so happy. And I'm still keeping that yellow jacket even now. Anyway, with, I wrote a date, which I received from true mother. Anyway, also, I had true mother's Japanese speech in America, as record. Oh, her Japanese was so great. And I was very impressed about true mother's dedication, devotion to love people of all over the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Naoko-san. Thank you. It's awesome. You have a matching color. You literally have your mother's jacket. Oh my gosh. Thank you all for sharing with one another, and thank you again to the Katos. And right now for announcements, I would like to mention that tomorrow is Anshil. Yes, so tomorrow will be the 8th day, and we will have a living testimony and offering song at the end. So for tomorrow, we have those who are giving it already set, but for future living testimonies or offering songs, we are always looking for them. So you can forward them to Yasu or Pastor Takino for living testimonies and offering songs. And oh yes, and then lastly, if you have been enjoying the morning Hundoke sessions or like to support the ministry team, feel free to give through the Giving Fuel link. And I believe that's it for that is it for announcements. And I would like to call on, well, I don't know if you guys noticed, besides Pastor Naokimi sharing today, it was all women today. I didn't even plan this. It was a breakout rooms. Okay. But let us represent men and women. So as an MC, I have the power to choose a man. Don't worry, guys. May I ask Mr. Thomas Ward to offer a prayer representing all men and conclude? We women cannot do, we women also need men. Yes.
Thank you very much. Please join me in prayer, brothers and sisters. Our most precious heavenly parents, we thank you so much for this special service that we could share together today. And we could be reminded of the many things that our true mother has gone to the front line for. And it was so amazing to me this morning to hear the testimonies of our Japanese members about how beautiful Mother's Japanese was when she spoke in those various venues in Japan, and what an incredible effort that she must have made in order to be able to do that. And then also, our dear parent, I know that for Mother to speak as she did in China, even though there were all kinds of warnings that she shouldn't say this or that, but she couldn't hear those warnings. She could only listen to your voice and do what she was called to do, and therefore act in that way. Heavenly Parent, let us really be able to appreciate our true mother, appreciate her boldness and her determination, appreciate this moment, which is the moment when she is among us, Heavenly Parent, and when the world needs to know that and to be able to receive her. We are grateful that we enter into this new era. We are grateful, our dear parent, for the foundation that was laid by Dr. Yong. And we are also grateful, our dear parent, for the opportunity that comes to us now through the guidance and leadership that's coming from Reverend Damien Dunkley. We want to use this moment to move forward boldly, to achieve great things, to turn around this nation and to bring to fruition all the things that our true parents worked so hard and long for in this nation. We thank you that we can come together now. I want to report all these things, upholding the names of our true parents, in the names of Thomas and Alexa Ward of the Ward West Central family, and all those present here. Adieu.
Adieu. Adieu. Thank you so much. And everyone, that is it for today's Hyundake. And today is day 7 when God rested. So, let us glorify him, let us praise him, let us appreciate him for all that is done for us, all the creation, all the love he poured into us, and be able to feel and be empowered as his sons and daughters today. So thank you everyone for joining. Take care. See you tomorrow.
Bye everyone. Have a good day.
Bye.
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 Bye.